the haunted Morgan Mansion. Nestled deep within the mist-laden outskirts of Córdoba, Argentina, the Morgan Mansion has stood as a chilling relic of the past for over a century. Built in the late 1800s by the enigmatic industrialist Thomas Morgan, the mansion was meant to be a grand estate, a testament to wealth and prestige. However, dark rumors have always shrouded its legacy. Thomas Morgan, known for his ruthless business tactics, was obsessed with the occult. It is said that he funded secretive experiments on human souls and conducted rituals to gain immortality. After his sudden disappearance in 1903, the mansion fell into disrepair, but the legend only grew darker. Locals whispered of eerie screams echoing from within its walls, shadowy figures gliding across the windows, and an unseen force that drove trespassers mad. Many who dared to enter were never seen again. Despite multiple attempts to renovate the mansion, all efforts failed as construction workers reported ghostly apparitions, tools vanishing, and sudden bouts of paranoia. The Argentine government eventually sealed off the estate, branding it a place of maldition eterna, an eternal curse. But now, after over 100 years of haunting silence, an outsider has dared to challenge the mansion's sinister past. A young supernatural professor from Kolkata, India, has arrived to uncover the truth. What he discovers will forever change the way we perceive the supernatural. Before we begin the story, beware, brave viewers, the shadows of the Morgan Mansion are watching. If you value your sanity and dare to explore the unknown, then heed this warning. Like this video, share it with fellow seekers of darkness, and subscribe to Shadow's Lair, scary tales and haunted legends, lest the spirits follow you home. The more you engage, the stronger our protection against the mansion's vengeful souls. Do you have the courage? Then let us begin. The Morgan Mansion, a decaying relic from the 19th century, stood shrouded in mist, hidden deep within the forests of Córdoba, Argentina. The locals spoke of its dark past in hushed whispers, of vanished visitors, eerie wails in the dead of night, and the malevolent presence that lurked within. When Professor Arjun Bhattacharya, a renowned expert in the supernatural from Kolkata, India, received an invitation to investigate the mansion, he couldn't resist. Armed with sacred scriptures, ancient talismans, and his unwavering belief in the power of the divine, he embarked on a journey that would challenge both his knowledge and his soul. Arjun stepped off the train, greeted by a chilling wind that carried the scent of damp earth and something unplaceable, something foul. The town of San Esteban, the closest settlement to the Morgan Mansion, was eerily quiet, its inhabitants wary of his presence. He secured a room at a small inn, where the owner, an old woman with clouded eyes, warned him in Spanish, "El demonio no duerme." The demon does not sleep. That night, as he lay awake, a soft knock echoed through his room. When he opened the door, no one was there, only a single black feather lying on the wooden floor. The next morning, Arjun met Father Gabriel, a local priest who had studied the mansion's tragic past. The Morgan family had perished under gruesome circumstances, their deaths ruled as mysterious accidents. But the truth was far darker. The patriarch, Edgar Morgan, had dabbled in forbidden rituals, attempting to summon something beyond human comprehension. The mansion had since become a vortex of malevolent energy. As Arjun and Gabriel approached the mansion, the gates creaked open by themselves, as if welcoming them inside. The air thickened, shadows stretched unnaturally, and the feeling of being watched became unbearable. Inside, the mansion was a labyrinth of dust-coated grandeur and rotting decadence. Arjun felt an oppressive force weighing on his chest. As he set up his equipment, cameras, EVP recorders, and ritual items, the walls began to whisper. A child's voice called his name, beckoning him toward a spiral staircase leading down to the cellar. Arjun hesitated but descended, his flashlight flickering. The deeper he went, the colder it became, until he saw them. Figures in the dark, their faces twisted in agony, whispering in languages long forgotten. Something moved behind him, too fast to be human. As he turned, a black mass slithered along the walls, forming the shape of a grotesque figure with hollow eyes. The entity lunged, and Arjun barely managed to repel it with a sacred mantra. The force of his invocation sent shockwaves through the room, but the entity only retreated temporarily. It was aware of him now. It was waiting. That night, in the inn, Arjun dreamed of the mansion, of the rituals, and of something clawing its way into his mind. When he awoke, his arms bore scratch marks he hadn't inflicted upon himself. Father Gabriel suggested an exorcism, but Arjun knew this was no ordinary spirit. The mansion housed something ancient, something tied to the Morgan family's bloodline. He needed answers. He sought out an elderly historian, Esteban Morales, who revealed that Edgar Morgan had bound his soul to the entity in exchange for forbidden knowledge. The mansion was his prison, and anyone who entered risked becoming a part of its curse. But Arjun had already spent too much time inside. The entity had marked him. Desperate for clarity, Arjun conducted a séance inside the mansion's grand hall, surrounded by relics of the past. As the candles flickered, a cold breath ghosted over his shoulder. The spirit of a woman, Isabella Morgan, manifested, her translucent form weeping blood. "He won't let me leave," she whispered. "None of us can." The walls groaned, the chandelier above them shook violently, and a voice, deep, guttural, inhuman, rumbled through the mansion. "You should not have come." The mansion fought against him, its very walls shifting to trap him inside. Doors led to nowhere, mirrors reflected horrors not of this world, and the whispers became screams. He saw visions of Edgar Morgan's rituals, children sacrificed, blood sigils painted on walls, and a monstrous figure emerging from the darkness. Arjun realized that the entity was growing stronger the longer he stayed. If he didn't act soon, he would become its next victim. With Father Gabriel by his side, Arjun prepared for a final confrontation. He armed himself with ancient Hindu scriptures, protective talismans, and the sacred ash of a cremated yogi. The mansion seemed to anticipate his defiance, twisting the hallways, summoning apparitions to deceive him. At the mansion's core, the ritual chamber, he found the entity waiting. It had taken on a monstrous form, shifting between shadows and flesh. Arjun began chanting, invoking the power of Lord Narasimha, the destroyer of evil. The mansion trembled. The entity screamed. The battle had begun. The entity lashed out, trying to break Arjun's concentration. Shadows coiled around his throat. Clawed hands reached from the walls. But he stood firm, drawing a sacred yantra on the floor, binding the entity within its confines. With the final mantra, the spirit of Isabella Morgan joined him, lending her strength. The entity shrieked, its form unraveling, its presence burning away in divine light. The mansion convulsed. The spirits trapped within were set free. The darkness lifted. As dawn broke, the mansion stood in ruins. Arjun, exhausted but victorious, watched as the first light of day touched its broken walls. The curse had been lifted, the entity banished, but he knew the scars of his encounter would remain forever. Father Gabriel thanked him, but Arjun knew this was not the end. Evil never truly dies. It only slumbers, waiting for the next fool to awaken it. Months later, back in Kolkata, Arjun sat in his study, sifting through case files. A letter arrived, an invitation to another haunted place, another mystery begging to be unraveled. As he reached for his glasses, he noticed something on his desk. A single black feather. The entity was not gone. It had followed him, and the nightmare was only beginning. You have ventured through the abyss of terror, but the spirits are not done with you yet. Before you leave this cursed tale behind, like this video, share it with those who love the macabre, and subscribe to Shadow's Lair, scary tales and haunted legends. Lest you hear the whispers of Morgan himself in the dead of night. Will you join us again? Or will the mansion claim another soul?